Hello world of YouTube, my name is Andrew, aka Smoking McTires on Instagram. Just doing a little Jeep work on my 88 XJ. At the moment I'm actually just putting the transmission in. I ended up flooding it, took her into a big old lake. That wasn't fun, but pretty much I destroyed my T-case, so I'm just swapping the transmission and the T-case out. I've actually been working on this for about 3 weeks now, so kind of want to get this fucking thing done. At the moment I do have the transmission in. This is the new one. Well, new to me, used to someone else, but hopefully it'll work. But I got those two bullshit star bolts in. I don't know if you can see that. All the way up in there. Got them two little fuckers in. And I also got the two studs in at the moment. So it's bolted up. All I really need to do is bolt the pressure plate up to the flywheel thingy, and she'll be pretty hooked up. Then the rest I'll really just need to hook the T-case up. I actually do need to get new bolts for the cross member for the mount, because I actually snapped both the studs. Well, one of the studs. This side's still good, but I really just need to get two new bolts for it, so I could just bolt that up, and yeah, she should be up and moving. That's really about it. I mean, the only issues I've had so far was I actually put the transmission up before and the pressure plate was not lining up at all. So I had to drop it again, which fucking sucked. But I had to drop it again, realign the pressure plate, and throw her back up. And I was also having an issue with the shifter. When you put it into park, it wouldn't engage all the way. So what I ended up doing is I've just put spacers on the bracket for the shifter cable, and it ended up pulling the cable back more, so when you put it into gear, it's going into the correct gear. So that was my little hack to that. Thank you, XJ page, XJ Nation page on Facebook. Appreciate the people on there. But yeah, at the moment I'm just gonna put those plates on and we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, so these are the bolts for the pressure plate. I believe this is a 15. There is 4 of them. So boom, got them 4. Let me find the right size for this. Like I said, I believe it's a 15. And I actually might need to get a wrench for this too. I don't know if I can fit the socket in there, or the ratchet in there. The prelude sitting all nice and sexy. That doesn't start either. Fucking issues out the ass. 15, boom. Right? Yeah, 15. Alright, try to set you guys up so you can see. I might need to take that jack out. End up taking this jack out. It's being held up by the transmission at the moment on the motorcycle jack, which is not mine. Thank you to John, my buddy John, for letting me borrow this. I don't know when you're going to get it back, but thank you. Out of here. Now, when you're doing this, you're also going to need to spin the crank so you can actually get to the other bolts. I actually have the socket on the crank at the moment. Now, it is a 19 mil on these, and you're going to want to turn clockwise. So if you're down on the car, you're going to be pushing away from you. But I think I have this lined up for the most part in the first spot. Yeah, that's a little off. Not trying to get any more broken knuckles. What's happening here? Oh, I'm gonna need a flashlight for this one. Get an old trusty flashlight. Get for $5. Gonna do what you needed to do. Light your way. Oh yeah, she's close. She's close. Oh Jesus, she's a bit tight. Oh yeah. Oh Jesus, she's tight as fuck. There's some leverage here. Jesus fuck. We'll need to break the bar for this motherfucker. She is tight. Oh, fucking Christ. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh, you're moving the whole thing. Son of a bitch. What am I gonna do here? I'll loosen this up a little bit. So, oh, I don't know if you can see, but so as you can see, we got these 4 little holes. See if you can get up in there. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Alright, so you got these holes right here. You got 4 of them. It's like right there. And you got one up here too. And you spin it, and their pressure plate is behind it. And they're supposed to move freely, but at the moment I believe I have the transmission too tight, because I did tighten them all the way down. So I think I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. Try to free the pressure plate away from the this thingy, and have it spin a little bit more freely. This way I can get it to get in the right position where I need it to, so I can get those started in. So I'm going to do that now. Alrighty, so I loosened the four studs that connect the transmission to the back of the motor. 1, 2, and the 2 at the top. And I was able to spin the crank without spinning the pressure plate. And if you can see, my holes are lined up. I don't know how well you can actually see that, but 1 hole is lined up, and that's all I really need. So let me try to mount you up here a little bit. So get the 1 bolt in. Now the hardest part is actually getting it in, getting in line without having too much obstruction. As you can see, I just literally cut the exhaust because it was being a pain in the ass to get the transmission in and out. So it was already cut anyway, so I just said fuck it. It's pretty much open header, so I am going to need to do something about that because I do need back pressure for these motors, so I've been told. Now this is my first Jeep, so everything I'm doing is for the first time, so that's why things don't go exactly according to plan. These tight situations suck. You gotta use both hands. 1/8 of a turn at a time. I just need to get it threaded on. Oh, there she goes. We are in there, bud. Yeah, you're definitely not going to be able to fit the ratchet in here, so you will need open-end wrench, because it's gonna make life so much easier. You can get a cheap kit from AutoZone for like 15 bucks. Now it's just tedious turning. Oh, is that going? What's going on? Life would be so much easier with ratcheting wrenches, but I am broke, so hopefully I'll get that for, I don't know, Christmas or something. Which I'm nowhere near Christmas. Fucking March. I'll get them eventually. Now once the first one's in, you can actually just spin the whole thing and just move it so you can get to the other ones. But make sure you just tighten all these down, because all the vibrations will make them come loose if you don't tighten them down enough. I'm assuming there's supposed to be some sort of torque to this, but me being the YouTube mechanic that I am, we're just gonna sand it. Hardest part is holding both at the same time, because once you start to tighten it, that whole crank's gonna spin. The old switcheroo. Come on now. Alright, that's one down. And after we get all these in, we can tighten back down the studs and all that. But I really want to have this running by the end of the day. My only issue is I might have fried my starter, but we'll figure that out. So the best place to actually get these bolted at is up in the corner here. So up in that corner. So if you could just get it up in that position, like right there, you can actually get a ratchet in there. It's just gonna be really tight. How you looking there, bud? I think that looks good. All right. Oh yeah, you see, yeah, plenty of room here. Right in there. Nice and simple. Alright, so the last bolt is tight. Alrighty, so that's good. Now there is a plate that goes right here. I will be putting that on. I just want to make sure it moves first before I start making sure everything's tight. So once I get everything together, make sure it actually works. Actually drive forward, drive back. See if it goes into 4, all that good stuff, and then I'll come back under here and tighten everything back down, and we'll be good. Alrighty, so for those who didn't know, the studs, the 2 studs on the sides are in there, and one straight back there, as you can see here. Those are a 16, right? And those 2 star exverted star bit socket things, they are considered an E12 socket. You are not going to be able to get it off with anything other than this fucking thing, because these things are stupid. As you can see, it is a star, but it's a socket. It's not like a T12, it's an E socket. E is an echo. So yeah, so we're going to tighten those top 2 up first, and then we're going to get to these 2 side studs, and yeah, let's see if I can get you mounted up. Oh yeah, that's perfect right there, bud. And you're also going to need, like, you see how long this extension is. Now this is still a little short. Now if I had maybe one more like 6-inch extension, it'd be like perfect. It would come like almost right behind the back of the transmission, but this works right now. I have 2 like 6 inches, 2 6-inch extensions, and then 3 like 2-inch extensions. So it works, so I ain't gonna be too mad about it. I'll do the top 2 first. Alright, so those top two are tight. Oh fuck. Alright, so those top two are tight. Not worry about it. Just those other two ones, and she'll be all good. Good to go. Alright, that's tight enough for right now. Alright, so transmission's tightened up. The next thing I'm going to do is put this this crank positioning sensor back on. Bolt up the starter. What else do I need to do? So we're going to focus on that for right now. The crank position sensor up at the top left, and the starter is going to go on the right. And yeah, after that we'll work on these cooler lines, which are not going to be fucking fun, I'll tell you that now. And yeah, so I'll get on the other side and thread that in real quick. That should be just a 10 mil, super simple. If you can find your 10 mil, hopefully I can. It's a fucking mess over here. So those two bolts for the crank position sensor are actually 11. Random fucking size, I don't know why. I think 10 would be basic, but no. Do I want to clean this off? Yeah, clean that off a little bit. Just take some brake cleaner and clean that off a little bit, just so it's nice. Nothing crazy, just a little, just something. A little wipe down. Okay, simple as that. Just a little sprit. Oh, this should just place right in there. It's actually one of the easiest things on this fucking whole project. Just taking this piece off. Alright, so that's in. Boom. Might as well hook this up real quick too. So this goes in here. There we go. I guess that's why those notches are there. It makes it simple. And boom. Okay, so that's hooked up. Gonna get something to hold that on there. So, I don't know if you ever had these issues, but this little rubber bushing that's supposed to be in here always break out of these. So it's like you're always replacing it, or you just gotta figure out a way to put that on there. I think I'm just gonna put like a clamp on there, just so it stays on and doesn't come undone when I'm driving or going through the holes and shit like that. But alright, so that's in. Shifter link just in. Crank position sensors in. Only other really things I need to do is run these cables right here. I guess you're upside down, I'll fix you. So run these cables right here up into the engine bay, and they clip up at the top. I'll show you where to do that. But I'm also going to put the starter back on. That would be a 15 and a 14 socket for that, and then a 13 to hook the cables back up to it. And obviously you want to have your battery disconnected when you do that. And yeah, get the starter on and go on from there. Alright, so I actually decided to drain the transmission first, drain the drain pan, because I'm going to actually take the pan off of it, because I couldn't get the dipstick tube out of the other one, and this one was already broken. So plus I damaged the shit out of it when I was lifting it up on the jack. So I'm just happy I got another one. I'm gonna throw my old pan on this one. The old pan's still in good condition. So I'm just gonna throw that whole thing on there, drain this pan out, and take that one out and put the new one in. Let's get her going. Alright. So this drain plug on the oil pan is a 14. Of course, I'll leave the socket on the other side. As you see, this is the dipstick too, completely ripped off because it was pissing me off. The bolts for the pan are a 10 mil, so I got that here too. Okay, so that is broke. And I'll actually be able to see how, if this pan is, I'll be able to see if this transmission's fucked or not, because at the bottom of the pan you can see one right there, two little notches. These are actually magnets right here, so they'll actually pull any metal that may have got teared up inside, pull it to the bottom. So we'll be able to see what kind of condition this transmission's in. I probably should have done that first, but to be honest, I just wanted this shit done. So now we just play the waiting game. I can actually, while we're waiting for that to drain, I can actually pop some of these 10 mils off. Some of these look a little fucked. No, actually coming up pretty easy. Now these shouldn't be super tight. When I go to put the new one on, I gotta make sure that I don't tighten it too much either, because it could warp the pan. I do have a new transmission filter that I'm going to be putting in as well. So I'm going to be doing the whole shebang, because you cannot just get the what's it called? You cannot just get the gasket for the pan. You have to get the whole filter itself, and it'll come with the gasket. So figured might as well. I mean, it's a new transmission. It's going to be safe with it. So it looks like she's done draining. My transmission fluid looks a bit old, so I do have all new fluid for the T-case and the transmission. It's regular automatic transmission fluid. I'm using the Max Life ATF transmission fluid. I want to see if I can get my drill. Got the good old drill. See, these are loose enough for me to just take off. I know this drill's dead as shit, so hopefully it has enough power. Once you start taking these last bolts out, you do want to bring that pan back over. I don't want to make a mess. No, I promise you, I want to get transmission fluid somewhere, so to go where I don't want it to go. Might need to give this a whack. Might just be on there. Alright, so this is the last bolt. So the last bolt is out. Just pry on it a little bit. Oh, there she goes. As you see, there's some more coming out, so that's what we don't want to get everywhere. Alright, so now we get to look at the bottom of this pan. So I'm not seeing any actual big chips. I mean, there's some, but these are little magnets I was talking about. I got some build up on here, just normal tear. I've seen worse, but what I'm really looking for is like actual thick pieces, which I don't feel any thick pieces. So That is a very good sign for the most part. I mean, for being a used transmission, can't really expect too much from it, but alright. Okay, so I'm gonna pop that old filter out, put the new one in, put the new pan in, be good. Alrighty, so this is the pan from my other transmission. I cleaned it all out with brake cleaner, cleaned all the metal shavings out. I had the new gasket on. A little trick to putting these gaskets on. What you're gonna do is just lay the gasket there and take the bolts that came out and just push them through. Just so it keeps the gasket from moving away when you try to put it back in. It's less of a hassle. So yeah, you just put it through and just pop it in, and it's just going to be there. So when you put it up, it doesn't all move around and come out of place. Makes life a lot easier. But as you see, it's pretty clean. I also cleaned the magnets that are in it. The big one, and then got the two little ones. So what I'm going to do is take the old transmission filter off, put the new filter on, and boom. So it doesn't look like this comes with really any hardware. Yeah, it doesn't come with any hardware, so you are going to have to use the hardware that's on there right now. It should only be 3 bolts. This one, 1, 2, and 3. So it should only be those 3 bolts. Oh, made in Nam. Oh well. Now that magnet should, I'm assuming, be right there. I'm not 100% sure. Well, when I take the old one off, we'll match them up and see how she's looking. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we're gonna take the filter off of this. So this got 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. That's a 10 mil. So I'm just gonna use the extension so I don't damage anything. But it does look pretty good down here. Now you want to keep the pan underneath here because there should be still some fluid left inside of this, so some might drip out. So just be careful. But it don't look too bad down here now that I took it off. Everything looks pretty clean. These gaskets look pretty good inside, so I don't gotta worry about that anytime soon. Now you do want to keep these bolts just because they didn't give us any more hardware. So now these aren't going to be too tight either. Before we put the new filter in, we'll just clean everything out with some brake cleaner, spray it all down, just so we don't get any contaminants inside of there. But you know, so far everything's going pretty easy. I'm not upset. Yeah, especially since how much I've been struggling with this for the past 3 weeks. So everything's going pretty well today. I'm not rushing nothing. I'm just taking my time. I had all day off today, so all bolts are out. So this should just, oh, there is actually one more. Okay. Well, there's 4 bolts. One right mirror too, right in front of my face. Yeah, you see a little bit starting to come out. So but that is the last one. This just pops down. Okay, simple as that. And that's the this old filter. Okay, so that little piece that I was looking at before is supposed to be there, so that's good. Alright, so that's in there. Cool. So I'm just gonna take a clean rag, just dap some of this shit off, and then just spray it down with some brake cleaner, put the new one in. A cleaner rag. And I'm not gonna wipe it down, I'm just gonna dap it off. Whatever contaminants come off the rag will come off with the brake cleaners. Just dap all over down. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Get the trusted brake cleaner. I'll back this back of camera up a little bit. But yeah, just spray her down. Oh, right in my face. Oh yeah, brake clip tastes good. Alright, so we're just gonna let that evaporate off and let it do its thing. Alright, so gonna put the new filter in and try to get that pan on. And I think we should be going. So matches up right. The new filter is on. Simple as that. Okay, so fun part is getting the pan on. Yay! You're gonna need to be patient with me for this because this is gonna take some finesse. So we're gonna pull this out of here. Now, you're supposed to take the dipstick tube off while doing this, but this being a fucking Jeep, it did not want to work out that way. So, alright, I'm going on the other side, just make sure everything's lined up. It's going to be nice. What are you doing here? I think when I was trying to take it off, I bent the tube a little bit, so. Let's see what that does. Oh, that's better. Boom. Oh, so I should have put the 10 on first, but. So I'm just going to zip a couple of these in. And then. Preparation is key, people. Have your sockets on when you need to have them on before you start putting shit up, because then you're going to be stupid. What do you caught on? Caught on the fucking wire. Come on now. There you go. Alright, so if you boom. Alright, so they're all threaded in. Now to just tighten them down. Use the regular ratchet for this, do not use the drill. It's not, you don't want shit to be get all not tight, right? And then you're just leaking out through it. So I'm gonna start from the middle out. And then, alright, they're all tight, and I'm just gonna go down. I'm just gonna do a half or quarter turn on each one just to be double sure. But yeah, she's all up and good. Saucy. I think we're getting somewhere. I'm happy with the progress I made so far today. The transmission was out at the beginning of the day, and now it's in, and now I just need to get the T-case on, the 2 bolts for the subframe, or not the subframe, the cross member, starter on, and see how she goes. Stay tuned.